mind. I can't control it.
What did you see?
There's a crusade coming.
Do you often dream things that happen just as you dreamed them?
Yes.
And welcome back to Spitball Cinema. I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
I'm David.
Yeah, and today we're talking some Dune. Dune Part
Dune.
One.
Dune Part One.
So
we talk about
specifically
the
new Dune.
the new Dune.
The
Okay.
new Dune.
Yeah.
Not the old Dune, but the new Dune.
Right. The new Dune, same as the old Dune, but not.
Well, Dune.
Right. I'm trying to figure out what year this came out. And why don't you tell
think
me?
it was-
Is it
Oh, this
21? 2021?
Might be right.
How come it doesn't
yeah,
tell
maybe
me?
22, 23. I'm not sure.
Oh, here.
2021.
Okay.
21, there you go.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, 2021. I'll tell you what, I was super excited for this one. I remember when they were talking about it coming out because everyone knows it's David Lynch, right? That did
Yeah.
did the one movie version, which no one ever thought that you'd be able to put Dune to film anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
And the David Lynch one just trippy. That thing's just trippy.
Well, it's a David Lynch,
Exactly. Yeah.
I
But Dune itself has its own kind of trippy bits to it too. So it's got, there's that.
I gotta be honest with you. I didn't go see it in the theaters because I was sick, but I did watch it when it came on HBO streaming thing, and I got up to the point where Paul and his mom got kidnapped, and they were in that little helicopter looking thing, dragonfly looking thing.
Yeah.
They escape, and I stopped it, and I just like, this is not really that good. I was bored with it. I don't know, but I think maybe after I kind of heard it after you talking about it, and then a friend of mine from who I worked with, they kind of filled it in. I was like, all right, well, I'll give it a second chance. And so I went back to it, and I still thought it was still kind of boring, but I was intrigued of where it was going to go.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But the
actually,
more
it's a common reaction. There's a lot of people that were like, it just started getting good, and then all of a sudden it ended.
yeah,
And a lot of people thought it was kind of dull. What do you think, Scott?
Well, it was hard. I've just watched this in the past 2 days
There you go.
because you've been on me to watch it, and we were going to do this, and so I really watched this because we were going to do the podcast on it. Because for some reason I remember seeing the original one, and I just remember as a kid I was really confused about it. Some dude riding a worm, you know, you know, and it was kind of gross in some
Use
parts.
your euphemism.
So some, well, I mean, and I remember that it was kind of gross in the first one when that guy was like hovering over the dude and blood. And I just, as a kid, seeing that in the theater, because a friend of mine, dad, we went over. I was spending the night at their house for a birthday party, and he took us all out to go see Dune.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah. And so as I started to watch this, I got about 40 minutes into it. I had to restart it. Because I couldn't follow the damn. I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? I can't figure it out because I think I was half paying attention and wasn't really focused. And then I realized, but once I started focusing on it, actually really paying attention, and it got like when Jason Momoa started kicking ass, and you just kind of set up, and you're like, oh, wait a minute,
Yeah.
Which I thought he was great in.
Duncan, Idaho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was. I liked the way he looked in this. I thought he looked a little different than some of his movies. At the beginning he looked, but they changed his looks like a little bit. He got all clean shaven and stuff, and I just thought he looked good. And you liked his character. I mean, you really liked him in that you were rooting for Jason Momoa. You
Yeah,
know,
the Atreides, they did a great cast. Well, for me, going back to it, um, I didn't get to see it in theaters either.
Mhm.
Cannot remember what was going on, but I was just devastated because it's one that I wanted to see
Well, I
right?
think it
because
was COVID the year before,
Well,
wasn't
they
it?
were filming it. Well, that was during
yeah,
COVID,
yeah, it
so
was yeah,
That's probably why.
that would make sense.
But I do find one thing that's cool, and I'm sorry for interrupting. Going back and watching it again, I kind of appreciate it more, knowing what part two is, because that's a whole different ballpark that we'll get into.
Oh yeah. Well, for me, it was the fact that I was such a big fan of Blade Runner 2024.
Oh
mhm,
yeah, that
And
director,
the
he
director,
directed
yeah,
Sicario, man. That's like one of
yeah,
the best movies ever.
well, same director. Yeah,
yeah.
Denis Villeneuve. So, I'm just sitting there going, if he can do for,
What's his name? Dennis
Dune,
what?
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve.
Yeah,
Villeneuve?
Okay,
something like that.
yeah,
Mm.
Um, but I'm just sitting there going, wow, if he can do for Dune what he did with Blade Runner, because you wouldn't think that anybody would be able to capture that Ridley Scott kind
Mm-mm.
of vibe. And he did. I mean, he did an amazing job with that,
It was a good sequel.
along with the music and everything else. And so, he really put that same kind of touch when he did
mm-hmm,
Dune.
yeah,
The sweeping, beautiful
Yeah.
imagery. I mean, the
yeah.
cinematography was
The
amazing.
sets they built for that thing,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and the sound is really good. That's kind
yeah,
of one of the reasons I kept saying, "Hey Scott, you should come over and watch it," because I wanted to
right,
crank up the
Oh
stereo
yeah, you get
yeah.
so that you could really get the sound
I
because the
I was very
sound is just
I was
amazing.
very
what kind of sound bar is that? A Sonos?
I got a Yamaha.
Oh yeah,
Um, it's an older one, but boy, is it
it
good.
shakes it, folks. It shakes his house. I mean, that's how cool it is.
It's cool.
Because that would
Um,
sound cool with the worms coming
I
out.
was really resistant to this movie, I'm sorry that I kind of was because I actually when I started watching it, I thought, oh, okay, now wait a minute, this isn't too bad here. I
yeah.
mean, it I still you have to pay attention to this movie. I mean, it's one of those ones
Oh,
you
you
really
do.
because there's so many different tribes and the way they interact and what the story is and they're telling the story, they're talking about it.
Well,
Yeah,
even in the dream sequences,
Yeah,
there's so many
yeah,
of those, and not all of them come true, and some of them are contradictory,
right.
which is very interesting.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it kind of sets a lot of that up. But it also kind of sets up the transition part that we'll talk about in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But no, so just going back to the director, the cinematography, the sound, that was everything that I wanted. Um, that's what I was excited to see. But I knew that the story was gonna stop, and it's because they tried to tell a better version of the story by actually stretching it out so that
Yeah,
you got to understand the motivations for the different characters and the
Right.
people,
yeah.
and Paul Atreides and trying to figure out, he's just a kid,
Right. Right.
and he goes through a really interesting character arc.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he does.
In,
Yes, he
in
does.
the whole journey from beginning to end, it is
Yeah,
absolutely
he
amazing
sure
the
does.
changes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wasn't sure who was the actor that played Paul Atreides. What's his name?
Timothy
Oh, Chalamet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chalamet.
I
Very good
you
actor.
know he's a very good actor, and when they first cast him, I was just like, oh
Who?
yeah, he's got the right look, but I'm like, man, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off in the end when it
Right.
comes down to being the Muad'Dib,
Yeah.
and I'm like, maybe I don't know.
I love it when they
Uh,
kept saying that throughout the thing when they were like chanting when he was walking. That what do they call him again? The
oh, the
he's the like the savior. Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah. I can't remember. They kept doing, but I always thought that was kind of cool.
yeah,
Yeah, they kept chanting that name.
yeah, and it's interesting too because in the movie the Bene Gesserit, which are kind of like a society of it's Dune is what George Lucas based Star Wars on.
Is it really?
Yeah, so when you get
Oh wow.
spice, it's literally
The Force.
spice. No,
Okay.
spice. It's like when they threatened to put him in the spice mines of Kessel. Spice is an
Oh
addictive
okay.
drug in Star Wars. In Dune, spice is that substance, that they get by mining, right? And it's
Able to do
used
space travel.
right. It
Right.
allows space travel.
Mm.
Um, now in Dune, one of the things is that they don't have computers because there's like this whole thing with like AI, and so computers are not allowed. That's why you have like these enhanced humans that do all these calculations and stuff, but that type of calculating isn't capable unless your mind has been altered by the spice. So that's kind of part of it.
So it's a drug.
It's a drug.
So they're all basically drugged out of their minds.
The whole movie. Yeah, the whole movie. Uh,
That's why they're seeing big worms running around
oh yeah.
everywhere.
Well, in Star Wars, you got Tatooine,
You're
you
right.
got Dune. You know, it's
Right. Yeah. It's
It's like in Return
there's
of
a
the
lot of
Jet,
parallels.
the Return of the Jedi's got those things that look like the mouth of the worms.
Yeah.
Well, what is that
The
in it?
Sarlacc.
Sarlacc.
Yeah.
Sarlacc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of it's people would always look at Dune and they're just like, yeah, that's the smart man's Star Wars. Is kind of the
That's kind of funny.
the actual sci-fi
Yeah.
aficionados Star Wars. And I haven't read them. I've tried,
Hmm.
but I don't have a lot of free time. I just don't,
Right.
and so I have a tendency when I start to read, I'll fall asleep because I've
Right.
stopped moving, and I just get tired. I go to sleep. And
Yeah.
it's got nothing to do with the book, because the book is written very, very well. Um, but it's just one of those things I've never been able to really finish. But yeah, so in this one, you got Paul Atreides, and the family's taken over, and they basically kick the Harkonnens off of Dune,
Hmm.
and it's like they're screwed. And the worst thing is that everybody knows it, except for Paul. He's told
Yeah.
that they're in trouble and that this is going to go south.
Yeah. Well, Josh Brolin tells you got to prepare.
Oh yeah.
You got to. And Josh Brolin was excellent.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
really
Josh
good.
Brolin.
Yeah,
Was
he was when he was
great.
training with him at the beginning. He says, "Care what your mood is." He said, "You fight. You train. I don't care what your mood. You're gonna fight." And he lights his ass up. It's his brother, isn't it? Isn't that his brother?
No, it's his.
No,
Oh, I thought it was his brother.
no, he's like,
No,
Oh,
it's
he's
just a
just
captain of the
just like
guard kind
okay,
of thing.
okay, yeah. He's like, yeah, I don't give a damn about it. What mood you're in.
Yeah, he's just like that's not how this works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a neat social structure, and I loved how in this particular movie they had the bagpipers, they had but um, the Atreides is where you get the more Earth references,
Hmm.
Mhm.
you know, Duncan, Idaho. It's like
Right.
names like Idaho, and you get just Paul. They're kind of the
Yeah. Okay,
more
Paul.
grounded, you know,
What kind of
regular
no,
Earthling
no wonder they changed
names.
his name. No wonder they changed his name and gave him a
Yeah,
nickname.
yeah. It'd have been like Kevin.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
that would have been really bad. Kevin Atreides. Like say
Yeah.
Kevin Garoppolo. I'm like, that's like the worst
Yeah.
name ever. Um, but no, so for Dune, when it starts off and it's a slow build because
Hmm.
you're finding out that okay, they're being sent to this planet. Everything's been sabotaged. The Harkonnens are pissed. And what's some great acting there
Yeah.
by is it Bill Skarsgård? Which one
Yeah.
is it? The older one?
Stellan.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, boy, does he
Oh,
look wild in this.
oh
Yeah, we
yeah,
Oh
watched something
man.
that it took them what 7
7,
hours.
8 hours to put his makeup on.
Yeah,
oh I can believe it.
Yeah,
yeah,
they had
And it
they
looked good
they
too. It wasn't
create
like
they created
dumb
this
looking.
this like fat suit that they had to make and stuff. It was unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
yeah. It was cool looking.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's such an intense actor too.
Yeah,
Oh, he really
He
is.
really is. He can pull those lines off. That whole family's gifted. His whole family, his son and him. I mean, they're just awesome actors.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah.
had the wrestler, the
Batista.
yeah, Batista.
My least favorite performance of this whole movie. I did
Really?
not like him.
Well,
What you
wait till
think?
he tells you the reason.
Oh,
What do you mean?
okay. Well, what's the
Because
reason?
you said that all these
Oh, he just screams through the
screamed
whole
all of
thing.
his. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Oh, yeah. You're trying to
I mean,
act
I
bad.
understand his name
I
is
mean,
Beast, but does he have to scream all of his lines?
yeah. I thought they should have cast a better actor for that. I think The
Maybe.
Rock would have
Or
been better.
But
the
but
guy
see, here's
that's Reacher in that Prime the Amazon show.
Yeah, but see, but also look at who his character is.
Well, that's
You
true.
know,
Well,
the
yeah.
the character is a bully. He's
Well,
sent there because he's brutal and he's a
he's a
bully.
coward too, though, isn't he?
He's a coward.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of you bullies
Are
are.
cowards, yeah.
So he's playing this particular character, which personally I thought was kind of interesting that Denis Villeneuve brought back Batista because
No,
Batista
he was in the first
was
part.
in the first was in Blade Runner 2049, and they
Oh, he
worked
was? I don't
together.
remember
He
that.
He
was the
was the
farmer that
yeah
that Ryan
the protein
Gosling.
farmer. Yeah,
Oh,
at the very
okay.
beginning.
That's why.
He was awesome in that. Just
I
for
don't
him
Yeah,
being in that small
I don't
part.
even
yeah,
remember. I don't see it. I've
yeah,
only seen that once. Yeah,
yeah.
but
And so yeah, he's in there, and he does a great role in that. In fact,
Yeah,
he's playing the Kurgan in the Highlander remake.
oh
but
god.
Batista.
He's
he'll
Yeah,
playing
he looks
Clancy
for.
Brown's.
yeah, yeah. He's playing
Man,
the Kurgan.
come on.
I
I think he'd be
I think he
alright.
can pull it
Uh,
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so
Jeez, man.
but his character in the movie is a bully, a ruffian, a coward, and to me, he like chews it up without being too corny or too over the top, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Um, but that's because that's what his character
right.
is. So yeah, so you've got
I liked it.
the Benny Jesuit, with their the voice powers and
Oh, and yeah. Oh, Charlotte Rampling
Yeah,
playing
that was cool to see her
to
after
see
all these
her.
years. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I was like, wow, she's still making movies after,
She
and
still
she's been
got
around
it.
for a long time.
She still got
I
it.
just remember her
Oh,
in,
it's just so menacing.
yeah.
But
Oh,
her voice is behind
and
that veil.
she's always had
Oof.
intense eyes too.
Yeah.
Always intense eyes.
Yeah,
You
her.
know,
I always remember her eyes and that girl from the late They Live. Um, I forgot her name.
I just Charlotte Rampling.
Well, she's no. She. You always remember her because of her eyes, but then, God, what's that girl? Woman's name? Um. Uh. Hold on. You'll know who as soon as I say her name. Hold on. I
And
got.
she was in the Verdict with Paul Newman.
Yeah,
And,
that was awesome.
you know,
Meg Foster. Meg Foster always had those cool
oh,
had those cool eyes and stuff.
oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I
But
mean, yeah, she
she was
was
in Angel
awesome.
Heart, Mickey Rourke.
Yeah,
And stuff. She's been in
yeah.
a
We'll have
lot
to
of
do
stuff.
that.
You
We'll
know.
have to do an episode on that
Yeah,
movie. But yeah,
yeah.
and
What
then we found out that
her dialogue. Well, I'm sorry,
no,
Dave.
go ahead.
Her dialogue too, the banter back and forth with Paul, and when she was testing him at the very beginning,
Yeah.
Oh,
put
it's
your
perfect.
put your right hand in that box, and then she's got that poison dart
Dart,
thing that will
yeah.
kill you instantly. And that
Right next to
little
his neck.
intense. You know,
Do you think
yeah.
she really would have stabbed him if he's like F you?
Yes.
Hell yeah, she would have.
Yeah. If he'd have pulled his hand out of there, he'd have been dead.
Yeah,
I mean,
she wouldn't even thought twice about it.
mm-mm. Well, and that's the thing because the the whole idea behind the Bene Gesserit is that they interbreed with the house rulers so that they can basically create.
The one
Well,
was
yeah,
that
but
they're
and it's not so much even the one. It's just the fact that they're trying to create kind of like the ultimate psychic. That's kind of where you're getting
All
your
right,
force powers from.
gotcha.
The whole
right,
these are not the droids you're looking for kind of
right,
thing.
right,
Fluence with them. Um, but so that one is, only women are allowed to do it,
right,
and they're not allowed to have male children.
right. Which Paul's mother did this on her own
She did it on her own.
because she's trying to bring this. Uh,
Power to her.
yeah, well, she's
To the
trying to bring
house,
the
right?
prophecy to light, isn't she? About
Yeah.
the one, and she's hot. Paul's mom.
Paul's mom's got it going on.
Yeah,
Guys.
she's
It's true.
she's played by Rebecca Ferguson. She's
Yeah.
very good looking young lady.
She's a good actress. She was in a lot of the Mission Impossible movies with Tommy
Mm-hmm.
Cruise.
Mhm.
She was awesome in those.
Yeah, it's really interesting because the Bene Gesserit they're basically told who they're going to. You're going to go marry this guy, and they make it happen. It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
arranged marriages with all these different houses and stuff. But she's one of the ones that actually was like super happy, had a boy, was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm supposed to not have a male child, so but because she loved her husband, wanted an heir for him, she kept him, which was not supposed to happen.
Was it Charlotte Rampling that was yelling at her about that?
Yeah,
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 she
she
said
kind of,
you weren't supposed to have a male child.
yeah. Well,
You
the
you went
idea,
against the rules.
yeah, the idea is that men can't control that type of power.
Right.
And besides that, they're ultimately trying to develop this person who would be able to influence all these things. It's not necessarily supposed to be a guy.
Mm,
Okay.
okay.
So, just the fact that she had a boy, taught him how to do,
The talk and
The
stuff.
talk,
the
yeah.
voice and kind of teaching him, and then he's having the dreams, and she's kind of cultivating his abilities. They know what she's done, and so it just gets to a point where all the Bene Gesserit, they go through the same thing. It's like stick your hand in the box or you're dead.
Do you think Stephen King ripped the Shining off from this? With the with what
You're right. It kind
with
of
the Shining about
or the shinning.
talking
Yeah.
to talking to people,
Uh,
telepathically.
yeah, I mean, Dune's influenced a lot of different
Yeah.
sci-fi stories. It is considered a classic, which is why I'm just ultimately ashamed that I haven't ever read it. But yeah, so the whole first movie just builds up all the political tension, the behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
stuff with the Bene Gesserit, and then you've got this whole new culture. You're going from this rainy, it looks like Scotland or Ireland looking
Yeah.
kind of a place. They're
Yeah.
playing the bagpipes and
Yeah.
they're doing all this. They're the well trained soldiers, and you know they're almost like Roman legion kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
Yeah.
vibe with the shorter swords that they use and
I
things.
liked how they had those palm trees um, in the courtyard.
Oh, on
Yeah.
Arrakis
Oh,
on
yeah,
Dune, yeah.
that was
Well,
so
and
cool.
in that first battle, when they first get in that first fight when Josh Brolin and all of them start to, I guess the what they
Oh, when
call
the Harkonnens
the
are
Harkonnens
invading at
attack
the end,
invading.
yeah,
Well, it was in the middle, wasn't it?
No, that was
No, I
late.
mean the first.
2/3 of the way in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that woke me kind of up. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I mean, it really got intense, crazy.
I just thought it.
Stuff was flying everywhere, and
Yeah,
they were just.
Well, it's interesting because the way that those shields work, those little energy shields, it's
Mhm,
like the speed is
mhm,
what stops us. When you have like too much kinetic energy, it stops it,
mhm,
or slows it down.
mm.
So the idea is like if you try to like slash somebody really hard, if you're going too fast or you try to shoot somebody with a gun, it's gonna stop and it slows down the inertia, and so you can like get out of the way or do whatever.
mhm.
Uh, which is why when you're fighting with the swords, but if you go slow enough, you get inside of that shield and then
Wha-
you can actually
Do more
poke somebody
damage.
and kill somebody.
Yeah,
Which is why when Paul's father, gosh, I can't think of
Oscar Isaac,
Oscar Isaac's character. I was just
mhm,
trying to remember his
Duke
name here.
Leto.
Yeah, Duke Leto. Um, when the assassin gets him at the end, and it shoots him, and it's right where his back is,
Right.
right
Oh,
where
yeah,
he
that's
can't
right.
reach it.
He can't.
He
Yeah.
just can't grab it. It's like the perfect shot, and it
And
gets him,
man, does
right in
he
the scar.
jack those guys up with his power? I didn't realize how much power that dude had until he lets loose when he's getting killed. Remember he
Oh,
shoots them all up in the like he.
oh, you're talking about when he bites down on that poison capsule when
I
he's
thought he released some type of power and jacked them all up in there
well,
as
no, no,
he's
no,
dying.
no, no, no. That was the what was the doctor, like the royal doctor who was whose wife had been kidnapped. He's the one that like basically let all the
I don't
Harkonnens
think
in.
Yeah,
Oscar Isaac when he was dying he.
Right, right, right. But what it was is that doctor was like,
Oh, that.
"Here, this is what I want you to do for me. You bite down on this, and it's going to release a poison."
Oh, that's
So
what it
basically,
was.
he's like, "Hey, look, I betrayed you, but here's how you can kill this
yeah.
jerk."
Okay,
And
Like
so
I
he,
appreciate you, but I have to do this for my wife. Here, bite this.
little
yeah,
traitor
Yeah, I
a
doctor.
still was
traitor's
pissed.
still a traitor.
I understand, but Yeah,
Traders just don't. You never hear a story about a trader living happily ever after.
that's
No,
true.
A
you don't.
lesson to all you budding traders out
Yeah.
there: just don't do it. Nobody
Yeah.
really appreciates you when it's all
Yeah.
said and done. All
They'll
right,
cut your head off.
yeah, or
Yeah.
they're gonna carve a swastika
Yeah.
in your head.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
traders never prosper. So, but yeah, so when he does that, he releases that poison, and that
That's what it
That
poison
was
was.
badass.
goes into the room.
Yeah. Oh, jacked them
And
all up.
right, and then the Harkonnen, the head guy,
Stellan.
he's got that kind of anti-gravity suit which allows him to
Right.
move because he's so obese, and so he kind of floats. He tries to get away, so he's like floating up. So that's probably why
Baron
you saw
Vladimir Harkonnen.
Yeah.
yeah, the Baron.
The
God,
Baron Vladimir Vlad.
so creepy in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a great job. And then the fact that he's poisoned, he's gotta be in that like weird oily bath thing,
Yeah. No, that
is
was
to trying
strange.
to heal
Yeah.
it back up.
Maybe you
And
should read the book because it's like, why does he have to? Why does he have to be in that?
well, that was to try to rebuild his lungs and
Oh,
everything. That's
okay.
that's trying to basically because he almost died. He was like on the verge of death after that
From the
from
poison.
the poison.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the poison pretty much killed just about everybody in that room.
Yeah.
Except for the Baron because he was able to get up above it.
And then another thing I liked in this movie is when Paul he keeps having these visions of her of Zendaya.
Yeah.
Just these glimpses, and he's like he hadn't really met her yet. But he keeps seeing these visions of this girl.
Mm-hmm.
Chani. Is that her? Chani?
Chani.
Chani. Yeah. Yeah. I thought she looked really good in this. She was really solid.
She
This
I,
is
I,
her
I,
acting
one
was
of her
really
best
solid.
movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
I
definitely.
mean,
You see her. She doesn't really talk hardly at all until like the very, very end.
yeah.
But she's got a very intense kind of a look.
Look to her,
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so he keeps having not only the visions of her, but that other fellow that he thinks he's supposed to become friends with, and it's the one that he winds up dueling at the end and kills.
That's right. The
Oh,
Austin
right.
Butler's
Yeah, because he's
character.
supposed to, he's like, you're going to learn from this person, you're going to find this friend, you're going to be able to do all these things. Well, it wasn't necessarily him, but killing him is what started him on his journey to learn about
yeah.
The
everything.
black guy he
Yeah.
was fighting. Yeah.
And so you get these kind of weird little misdirections,
Jameis.
Jameis, yeah. And but yeah, so like just the fact that the Harkonnens had like buried people in the walls,
Yeah,
you
that
know, just so
pretty
they
cool.
could try to assassinate someone, and this guy's basically he's gonna die. He's got no food or water. He's just like hanging out, hoping to kill somebody before he like,
Hmm.
That's awesome. It's a cool
And
creed,
and they
man.
sabotaged all the equipment, so they're trying to like build everything back up, and then out of nowhere, here comes the Emperor because the Emperor brought his Shaukar, basically the
Yeah.
elite troops of the Emperor
Mhm.
with the Harkonnens, and that whole betrayal there, just everything comes crashing down. But you get to see how Duke Leto and and Paul, when they're out there, they're trying to rescue the one mining vehicle,
Yeah.
from the worms and stuff.
Mhm.
So you see,
Probably
he's such
anybody
a
else would have just let him die.
yeah, but you can tell that he was just. Well, it's like they say, later on, he was a compassionate ruler. He wanted
Yeah.
to make friends
With everybody.
with the Fremen.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey, it doesn't have to be fighting. It doesn't have to be like
Yeah.
that. But number one, it's all the Fremen have known. With the Harkonnens there
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
decades,
Yeah.
and decades and centuries. That's all that they've known. But he was very wise in his approach and how he was going to do everything. But at the same time, ultimately, a little foolish because he was a little too good.
Too big of a heart too.
Mhm.
By the way, yeah, Oscar. Well, the Oscar Isaac, awesome in the movie. I mean, just for the short time he was in it.
Yeah, I thought he did a
Yeah.
good job.
When I went back and watched it a second time, I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. How he was just good. You could tell that he would be a good leader.
Yeah, very solid.
Yeah.
but he
Had the
gave
cool
you,
look to him, and everything, the
yeah,
beard and all that.
and just the fact that he was able to talk to Paul, and he's like, well, I always
Yeah,
wanted to be a pilot. It's like I don't know. It was a little on the dad side, a little on the mentoring side. He's
yeah,
trying to get his son up to speed, gets him on the council.
yeah,
Um, he's trying to do these things to start turning him into a leader, and so he gets like that initial little guiding hand by his father, but then like just the whole world crashes down.
yeah.
They get hit
Hard, yeah.
hard.
Jeez,
Yeah, they did.
they got effed really bad.
Yeah, and those battle scenes are amazing. It's like they're
Yeah.
they're dropping bombs on those ships, and it's hitting the shields, but it basically just stops the bomb. But the bomb's slowly
Still
going
going
through,
through.
Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
it hits the ship, and it explodes inside of the shield, so it like contains the explosion.
Yeah.
And then when the shield drops, then just whoa, it just blows up.
Yeah.
I mean, the special effects
oh, top
are
notch.
just amazing.
And for
Yeah.
this movie not having a lot of color in it, it was beautiful.
Oh
Because
yeah,
we watched up behind the scenes of the set decorations and those big, cool looking carpets. That was actual carpets, but they had some place over in Europe. They specialize on printing over
Hmm.
carpets and stuff like that. Like you can just take a
interesting.
regular white carpet, and then they will go and digitally put a design onto over it and stuff.
That's
And
cool.
then the carvings that they had of inside
Oh yeah.
their castle, I guess would it be, but beautiful, very beautiful. They did. I mean,
And
we were sitting there going, "Man, they've spent a lot of money on this movie
oh, they did. And I tell
because a
you what,
lot of it was not CGI. It was actual practical effects and stuff
practical
like
effects
that."
and models, a
Yeah,
lot of it. And that was one of the things too, because the movie came out. Because you're right, it came out right in COVID, and I just remember because yeah, this was the one that came out during COVID. It didn't. I don't think it got a theatrical
I
release. I
think
think
it.
it was just HBO and then maybe a few screens when
Yeah, I
they were
think you're
trying to
right on that.
reopen things.
Just to be yeah, for the
Yeah,
Oscars.
because I saw it at home. I just flat out bought the 4K.
Yeah.
And my wife's a bit of a completionist, and so the fact that I had the first part, and she's like, "Oh, okay, do you want to watch that?" And I said, "No, because you're going to want to know what happens, and there may or may not be a
So
sequel
let's
because
wait till the
nobody
sequel.
knows." Yeah,
That's true. We didn't know they were
we
gonna.
didn't know if it was going to
Yeah,
happen or not. And not only did it happen, they did the spin-off series, which I have not watched.
that's on
Hmm.
HBO
Uh,
Max, right? The
yeah,
series. Yeah.
and then there's a
The
part
third
three
one's
coming
coming out
out.
this year,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really interested because
and maybe we'll go see it in the theater and do
yeah.
a episode on it.
Yeah.
But the really weird undercurrent to everything is the Bene Jesuit and
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
fact that they basically, and because they've been around for so long, they've been sewing, and they basically created a religion from scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and which is bizarre when you think about it, because they talk about manipulating people
So they
and
created a
doing this and
cult.
this. They created a cult on this
Basically, yeah.
planet, but in a weird way, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because here actually comes, you know, Paul, and he has these powers and abilities and things, and people start to recognize it, and he gets this following, and it's the whole religious fervor, type of thing.
And Zendaya's, she's kind of skeptical of it. She's like,
Oh,
yeah,
she's
this is
like,
bullshit.
yeah, she's like, nah, y'all are
Yeah.
getting played.
Yeah.
She's kind of that grounded realist,
Yeah.
but she
And she
lives in this
played
world.
that throughout perfectly. I
Yeah.
mean,
Hmm.
uh,
Well, and we really haven't really talked about the sandworms at all. The worms are integral to the story because
Yeah. You couldn't just like walk out in the desert like a human being because they would know you're there and come after you, right?
yeah, you can only mine for like a
Yeah.
short period of
Yeah.
time, and then because they take them out in balloons, so
Yeah.
that they wouldn't make a lot of noise, drop
Drop
these
them.
huge things to try to dig up as much of the spice as they could. And then as soon as you saw a worm, you had to like
pop it up.
connect everything up and lift it up off the ground.
Yeah.
because these things are, the bigger ones like 100-yard wide mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is
And
just
they could reach up.
insane.
I remember that one,
Yeah.
they couldn't
Yeah.
get one of the tentacle things to hook onto the machine to lift it
Couldn't get
out
it
of there.
attached, yeah.
And so they had to abandon the thing,
That was badass.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
worm they just swallowed that
Just
thing
eats the
whole.
whole thing, yeah.
And these
And-
things are huge, man. I mean, they're just,
Yeah. If you have a good sound system at home, your apartment or house or trailer will shake.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
in a good way.
oh, in a good way. I mean, you get nervous
Well,
watching it.
Yeah, and the special effects are so good. These things have a mass into them, and they are just freaking scary.
Oh yeah.
How just freaking brutally big these things
Yeah.
are.
mhm.
Yeah, but they can't go into the stone, so you see a lot of their, living areas are actually these stone outcroppings. That's where, the Fremen pretty much live,
Mm.
you know. But those worms play such a huge role.
Yeah.
Now let me get now were the Freeman and the Worms cool with each other, or am I jumping too far?
Yeah, they coexist. They're basically
Because I know they had those machines that did the
little
vibrations,
thumpers.
thumpers, yeah.
Mhm.
Like when they needed them, like hey, or
Now,
maybe they just
hey, what
used them
what
as
better way to get rid of an attacker
yeah.
Mhm.
than just
Yeah.
thump 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 thump. You kill 30, 40 troops. They pile them all together. They put a thumper there. They bury the worm comes, eats the evidence. Nobody
Yeah.
knows what happened to him.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a really good disposal.
Yeah.
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 Take it out the garbage.
But yeah, just
yeah.
the fact that they had like the suits that would recycle your water.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And
Yeah.
And if somebody dies, they didn't waste no time. They just went over and hooked the thing up to them and took the water out of them.
just suck the water out of
Yeah,
them.
they had all kinds of stuff to recycle this water.
Yeah,
And
kind of pull it from people.
Yeah.
And
Kinda
the
gross,
fact
but
is, the first time he goes to talk to Duke Leto, um, what's his name? The Stilgar,
Hmm.
the kind of the leader of the Fremen that are near
oh,
the city.
Javier
Javier
Bardem.
Bardem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he sits there and he just like spits.
Yeah.
And everyone's
It's
like
like
getting
drawing
ready
their
to take
knives and
take his
swords.
head off and stuff. Now, number one, everyone's reaching for their swords and pulling blades and stuff. But that guy ain't even flinching.
Yeah.
He's just like spit. And then the guy was like, "Thank you for sharing with your moisture with us."
Yeah.
It's like spits on
Yeah.
the honor of your. It's like he spits, and then everyone kind of spits on the desk.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because Harkonnen probably would have just taken his head off.
Mhm.
Anybody
Oh
else would have
yeah.
just been, "Oh, that's offensive," But
Yep.
they were there to learn, which Paul Atreides listens to his dad. He's there to learn, and by learning, that's how he kind of gains everybody's respect because he's really modest.
Mm.
Right.
But
Right.
initially, because this is still just the first movie, it's just about him escaping. He gets that vision of Duncan Idaho dying, and so he wants to go with him on the scouting mission because he
Oh
doesn't want
yeah.
anything to happen to him.
Right.
And Duncan's like, okay, well, then I find them. So
Yeah.
he's like
So
spinning
that's a
it,
good thing.
he's like, yeah, this is a good thing. It means I find him, Um, but you can tell that Paul has some,
Duncan was Momoa, Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And at that point in time, Paul's having these visions. They don't always come true,
Right.
but he's probably had enough of them come true that he gives it some
He's got
pretty
to take.
serious weight.
He's got to take every one of them serious.
Yeah. And so, that's his friend. That's his teacher, his friend,
Brother.
Mhm.
Brother like him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an older brother who really does treat him like that. And so, yeah, so he's just like learning and learning. But like when he puts on his first suit, and he actually does it the Fremen way,
Right.
and
They're like, who taught you this?
yeah, and people are like who, but he has, that's why I said that's like a self fulfilling prophecy. It's like, well, he will know our ways, and he did, but did he know it because he studied it, or did he know it because it was really what he was destined to do?
Oh my gosh.
So it's really interesting. They play with a lot of these kind of concepts and
Mhm.
stuff.
So it's why I kind of appreciate it more when I watched it a second time. I'm definitely gonna watch it again sooner or later. But you know,
It's strange because I watched the first, I watched it at first. I was really excited about the second one coming out. Saw the second one in the theater, loved it
oh yeah,
because
save that
it
because that
picks up like
dude,
right where
that's
it leaves off,
one of
which
the
is really
yeah
scary
sneak preview,
because
folks. That second one is one of the best action movies you'll ever see.
oh yeah,
I mean, it's so good.
well because they're basically the Harkonnens attack, they're taking everybody out.
Yeah,
Duke
dude, that
Leto
was
is
my jaw dropped when I watched
oh
that.
yeah, it's like Godfather type
Yeah,
like endings, where they just go through and they're just taking everybody out.
yeah,
I mean, the
Hmm.
whole military's gone.
yeah.
They basically
They don't give
removed
a
their entire
f. Yeah.
military, their entire household. It makes me wonder who's even back on the planet because they took tens and hundreds of thousands of people with them
Right.
to occupy this one area, and the entirety of the house is wiped out, which is just amazing. Um, and so here's Paul and his mom, they're the last ones,
Yeah.
and even they get captured. Um, they're stuck on one of those little dragonfly ships,
Hmm.
and Paul's able to get the person to remove her gag because they know she's a Benny Jesuit, so they know to
Right.
keep her
Oh,
mouth
okay,
covered.
gotcha.
So he gets into, he's not very good at it yet, but he gets him to remove her gag, and then
She takes
yeah,
over.
she's just like, kill him, cut his throat. It's just
Yeah.
like it's like the Palpatine kind of do it,
Yeah, she
kind
Oh,
of a
it's so
thing.
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's a badass, man.
yeah.
She
She's
really is.
Yeah,
yeah.
you see how vicious them women are.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
don't
mess
yeah.
with the Benny Jesuit.
Go women.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
here, let me ask you one question, and forgive me for going back towards the beginning of the first one. So, am I correct in thinking that a different house had their time on Dune for mining, and then they push it out to everybody else, or um,
no,
okay,
and I don't know
okay.
because the Harkonnens have been there for like
Well, that's what I was thinking.
centuries.
That's why
Yeah.
I was thinking that
Now, in the movie, the reason that they give for removing the Harkonnens and putting House Atreides
right,
there
okay,
is because the Emperor felt like House Atreides was becoming too popular.
Hmm.
Duke Leto was a good guy. He
oh,
was good for his word. People
gotcha,
trusted him.
okay,
And so he was in a position to where he would start having more influence than the Emperor himself.
And he couldn't have that.
And he can't have that. So even though he loved Duke Leto, because he later on they even mentioned, that it was like a son to him.
right.
But the guy's a calculating SOB. He doesn't care. That's
This is
power is the only thing that matters to
the
him.
Emperor's the Christopher Walken.
Christopher
Yeah,
Walken, yeah.
in the second movie.
Which he did a good job too.
Yeah,
Of course, he's always good.
yeah.
And so he
I
basically
rule
just
Dune.
says, "Hey, hey Harkonnens, you guys suck. I know you've been doing this for a couple centuries now, but we're just going to kick you out, and we're going to let your most hated rival
Take over.
take over, right?" And yeah, they sabotage everything. So even if they didn't turn around and try to wipe them out, they would have looked incompetent. They would have looked inferior because they couldn't get production up and running again.
Mm,
Um,
Mm.
you know, but the idea was that put them in that position, get them all concentrated into one area, and then the Harkonnens would be so mad they're going to come back and just wipe them out. So,
mm.
which is why he sends his shadow car because the Emperor knows that even though the Harkonnens are bloodthirsty, brutal killers to a man, they're not as well trained as House Atreides. Because House Atreides, like I said, they're like it's like the Roman legions.
Yeah.
They are very very good at what they do, and so they're like, okay, well, we need backup too, just to make sure that there's no survivors. Because if there's no survivors, then nobody knows what happened, and they can't blame the Emperor either. So it's kind of like yeah, when Skarsgård is there, he's like, when is a gift not a gift? And it's
Right.
like it's like that's when it's not a gift because he just handed him. It's like here's a whole heap of trouble. It's like you got 99 problems and the big one's one.
Yeah.
And it's like, but yeah, so they have to they're put in an impossible position, and then treason, treachery,
Mm-hmm.
big freaking Godfather like decimation of the entire house.
Yeah.
It's like right out of Game of Thrones kind of
It's
a
like
thing.
the Red Wedding.
No, I just kept
Exactly.
looking. I just kept thinking Sunday is hot. The whole thing.
Stop.
The whole thing is us.
Whatever gets you through the
It
day.
is-
Yeah, whatever gets
I
you
mean,
through
I
the
don't know
day.
about all this other bullshit, but
Yeah, so it's really interesting because it's very intriguing. But like I said, I had to wait. I didn't let the missus watch that until
Yeah, you
the
had to.
second one came
Came
out,
out. Yeah.
and then I actually sat there and I said, okay, let's watch the whole thing. And we watched the whole thing number one, and then went straight into part two. And that was the first time that I had a chance to watch it like
Back
all
to
the way
back.
through. God, it's so good. Now I don't watch just one or the other. I literally have to watch them straight through because it's just seamless and the story flows so well. Um, sometimes when you get films where they come back and they pick up a film where it left off, or they do a sequel,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
sometimes they just don't sync up right. It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
It just feels different.
Usually because it's a different director or something like that takes over. But Peter Jackson was really good at doing that with the Hobbit movies or the Lord of the Ring movies.
Yeah,
And the
they did film all those kind of back to back.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Did
know.
they? Wait, they had to taken some breaks in between.
Yeah,
these
this one
films.
had breaks in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the consistency in storytelling was really good.
Oh,
But
yeah.
luckily, I think they picked up quick enough to where, like, the actors didn't age too much.
Yeah.
Things like that. Because, man, sometimes Stranger Things, where you get to the end of the series and everyone looks like they're in their mid 20s.
Yeah.
That happens. But they did a good job with this.
Or
of
your
making
star
sure.
Jedi gets in a car accident and has a big ass
big
scar
scar.
on
And then you
her
do-
face.
that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first Dune, a lot of people weren't into it. It didn't get good.
Yeah.
It got great reviews for acting, cinematography,
Mhm.
sound.
The look.
But most people were like
can't-
Scott. They were like you, Scott. They were like, huh?
Yeah, I can't follow this.
Right.
I had to go back and rewatch, and then but you have to really pay attention to what the hell's going on,
Yeah.
And plus the chicks were hot and I couldn't get past that, So
It's the blue eyes. They get you every
it's
time.
yeah.
And that's probably good advice to our audience is that if you haven't by now watched it, like with all of our episodes, we assume you guys have already seen it. Definitely watch it and then come back and listen to this afterwards. I mean,
Yeah.
see if you had the same kind of first impressions as us.
Yeah.
But you liked it probably more than me and Scott after watching it the first time.
I loved it. First time out, loved it. But I was afraid that that's all that I was going to get.
Mm.
So I'm just sitting there going, okay, this is where it gets good, and
They gotta shoot
it may not get made, which was crazy. So it left you in a weird position where where I felt like, ooh, this is such a great movie. I can't wait to see the next one. And then if the next one never came, this movie no one would rewatch it because it wouldn't have enough impact. I think going into the second one is
Kind of like Horizon. Kevin Costner's
Horizon.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to talk about part two, so we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for part
Yeah.
one. You guys got anything else?
I appreciate the more I watch it and understand it.
Yeah, so if you want to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us at spitballcinema@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe.
Yeah.
We'd really appreciate that.
Please.
So go out and watch Dune Part One.
Yeah, let us know what you thought, especially your first impression, especially if you saw it 2 years before the sequel came out.
Yeah.
Right.
Really love
Or
to
if
hear
you got
about
to see it
the
on the big
impressions of that.
screen, you might have been able to.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay.
Can you imagine seeing that blown up on a real size IMAX screen. I'm talking about like the story. How many stories is the IMAX screen?
I don't know.
Yeah, but not the shorted down version that AMC and all them put out, but an actual IMAX theater,
Yeah,
man.
it'd have been like Lawrence of Arabia cool.
Dude, yeah.
All right, hey, I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
I'm David.
Thank you very much.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
The test is simple. Remove your hand from the box, and you die.
What's in the box?
Pain. You inherit too much power. You have proven you can rule yourself. Now you must learn to rule others. Something none of your ancestors learned.